Election-related violence has come about as African countries have become more democratic. You have more elections being held in Africa. As they have become more routine, they have also become very contentious because the stakes are now centered around winning or losing elections. And so as the elections become more important, we have to prepare for violence, and this is what exactly has been happening over the last few years.
The first and the major cause is when the contenders do not agree on the elections, and yet they go to the elections. Then you have many other causes that would be political or technical, such as the absence of a reliable voter registration, a lack of confidence between the contenders, misunderstanding of the object of the elections or any electoral process, and specifically hidden agenda among stakeholders.
We shouldn't assume that all conflicts around elections emanate from the electoral process only. No. There are those that emanate from the electoral cycle, the electoral process. There are those that emanate from outside, which we call structural causes or structural factors. This have to do, for example, with grievances that already exist.
The key issue is election violence are caused by pre-existing conflicts within these societies. There are many conflicts. There are ethnic conflicts, there are regional conflicts, there are conflicts among the leaders about the rules for competition, and all these factors come about and cause electoral violence.
The voting phase or stage is generally peaceful. If you look at it carefully, both the pre-voting period and the post-voting period on the continent are the most problematic. Now, on the post-voting period, how the results are announced, when they are announced.
To prevent it is to open up the process, to follow the rules, to permit and encourage access to every stakeholder and every part of society to be confident in conducting a free, transparent process.
Political culture basically relates to the set of values and principles which is embedded in society. This is where people actually engage with each other. This is where issues of tolerance comes up, issues of engagement with each other in the form of kind of political competition. And in a sense, almost it is often the intangibles which exist in society, but which allows for one country to actually have a peaceful election and in another country to have a not so peaceful election.
We need to begin from the basics. We have to say what is the nature of leadership in these countries? What is the culture of competition that is being nurtured within specific countries so that we can actually nurture or we build on that culture, whether it's in Zimbabwe or Uganda. What is the quality of leadership in these countries? How are they talking to each other? Are they serious about creating institutions for competition now that they know competition is important? The Kenyan and the Zimbabwean cases were really classical cases of how do external actors interpose themselves in a conflict after the people have made their choice. So it's a very tricky, because what it does is that it raises a lot of issues of legitimacy. Why mediate a conflict that has already been decided?
There should be some facilitator, neighboring countries, friendly countries. International organization, of course, can play a major role in mediating the conflict. Civil society should be represented and given access to the mediation.
Unlike the civil wars that were being mediated previously, and the electoral, the election-related kind of mediation is that election violence mediations are very new. I think there has not been, African countries actually are just beginning to learn on how to resolve these issues.
You can actually have the mediator who is gifted in mediation but does not necessarily know, is not an expert on the area. That's not a big deal, because you can then support the mediator with the technical team that can then distill the key issues.
So my prescription is that we should actually not have more mediation of electoral violence. We should be saying, how do we build more credible institutions that are going to prevent us from heading into mediation of electoral conflicts?